Hey everyone, it's Brian and Max from IGN, back with another video on Red Dead Redemption 2 because we can't stop thinking about it or talking about it. Specifically, something happened last week that you might have missed, a little news tidbit. This entire game that we all thought for a very long time was a third-person game can be played in its entirety in first person. So basically, Red Dead Redemption 2 can be a first-person shooter.
If you want it to be.
Or lasso game, whatever, yeah if you want it to be.
So this is cool. Obviously, GTA 5, when it was ported to current gen, had first-person added to it. And that was huge, but that game wasn't designed from the ground up to be a first-person game, as far as we know. That could have been in the back of their heads. But when you played that game, when you played GTA in first person, there was a lot of stuff where it did feel a little bit off. Like if you fall out of an airplane and you go tumbling every which way, you fly out of a car, it could be a bit nauseating. And it felt not tacked on, but definitely like it wasn't quite designed for that.
There was also some pushback from some of the more buttoned up type of people in the world who are like, oh, this is like absurdly violent. Like you can punch an old lady in the face, you can drive a car into a wall, like whatever you want to do.
GTA is a little bit more grisly when you're seeing it right from first person. It's kind of goofy from pulled back. In the case of Red Dead, obviously, kind of the same experience applies, but in this case, they've entirely built the game from the ground up with first person being a component of it, but kind of thinking, in a few different points of view at once. I think that this makes a ton of sense for this game because in the case of GTA, that is a big, huge, wide open game about going fast, and the fact that you can jump out of an airplane or that you can, drive a Lamborghini 150 miles an hour, that's all very fast, and it's hard to take it in. In the case of Red Dead, this is a game that's much more intimate, much more drawn in, and it's all about the details. And there are actually parts in the game where it will punch you into first person, whether you want to or not. For instance, when you go shopping, you'll be browsing a catalog, and you'll see Arthur Morgan's disgusting, dirty fingernail hands. But if you're already playing the game in first person, that's probably even more immersive to see things from that angle.
So let me ask you, just a few weeks away from the release of this gigantic game, will you play this game in first person? Not only will you dabble in it, but is your plan to sit down and play this game in its entirety in first person?
Nah, man. I think a Rockstar game, even if they've done it from the ground up in first person, I think that these games are meant to be in third person. I've always played them this way. It makes sense to me. That being said, if there's an especially beautiful sequence or like a really cool environment I want to take in better, I will totally kick it into first person and poke around.
Right. No, I'm totally with you. I think that one of the main things about this game is sort of the way the weather impacts your character. Your beard growing out, your fingernails getting dirty, your clothes getting covered in blood. We saw like a moment where our character killed an animal and threw the animal up over his shoulder, and it left a blood stain on the shoulder. And all of that, I think, will be missed in first person.
Right.
Most first person games, you can maybe see your feet. Not a lot of them will let you look down at your shoulders and see bloody bobcats.
It's funny, we saw the recent kickback against Cyberpunk 2077 for having being primarily a first-person game, it occasionally kicks you into third person so you can see your character. This is kind of the reverse, where this is a third-person game primarily that will also, let you be in first person here and there.
So, do you think now that Rockstar has sort of set the bar there, that Cyberpunk will look and go, hey, let's do the opposite. Let's go all third person as an option.
I kind of doubt it, but somebody might mod it in. Somebody modded first person into The Witcher.
Yeah.
And that's a game where you do lots of spinning around. It must be very nauseating. One thing that's worth noting is I know some people do get queasy when they're doing things in first person. Red Dead has a lot of horseback riding, and your horse bobs around a lot in first person. That was a weird gesture. But apparently you can turn the head bobbing off, so it won't make you quite as horse sick or whatever the term is.
See, what was it? Like it's
equestrian nausea.
There we go. So let us know, will you be playing Red Dead Redemption 2 in first person? I'm gonna dabble in it. I don't know if I'll do it for the whole game, but either way, I'm glad it's an option. For all things Red Dead and video games in general, you're already in the right place, IGN. Don't do that.